What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Nicky's Corner, where we unplug all things lifehood, wifehood, and motherhood. Now, let's get into the video. So as you guys can already tell by the title, today we are going to be talking about my transition from wifehood to motherhood. And let me tell you, it has its ups and it has its downs. Motherhood. It is such a beautiful experience once you kind of get into it and you get the swing of it and you get the hang of it. And it's even beautiful when you have your brand new baby and they just want to sleep all day and do nothing and stare in your face. But there comes a point in motherhood where your kids start to turn up and step into their terrible 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s, and 6. And you're kind of just like questioning, what is this? What on earth did I sign up for? Nobody told me this. This wasn't in the rule book when I left the hospital. What is going on? So I'm going to share with you some of the things that I experienced that I think you should know before jumping into this. And if you're already in it, just agree with me. Touch and agree with me if you've experienced any of the things that I'm talking about today. All right. So the first thing is sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation. It is unbelievably unmatched. Like when you have the baby, you come home and you think everything is going to be peaches and cream. But you come to find out that this little individual wakes up several times in the night because they're hungry, because they're uncomfortable, because they just want to feel you breathing on them, because their tummy is hurting. But guess what? They're not speaking to you and telling you what's wrong with them. You gotta play guess who and figure it all out. Like it's literally a guessing game. Eventually it becomes a pattern where you know, okay, well at this time the baby is hungry, so you can do that. But that sleep deprivation is wild because you're getting up a couple times a night trying to figure out like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta stay awake, I gotta make the formula, I can't spill the powder on the floor, I gotta make sure I get the warm water in the bottle, I gotta make sure that the hot water is not too hot because then I'm gonna be up blowing it and cooling it down while this baby is screaming for his or her food. It's a whole process, and let me tell you, that sleep deprivation is dangerous because I found myself trying to get that formula into the bottle, and before I know it, that formula is on the ground and I just wasted a scoop of $32.99 powder. And it's just a whole mess. And so take note that sleep deprivation is real. It's going to happen and it's not easy, especially coming from a person who loves their sleep. Like I love sleeping more than I love eating. It's literally my favorite thing. And so that was very tough for me. Very, very, very tough for me. Another thing that I experienced was time management. So there was once upon a time in my life, especially when we were just married, where somebody could ask me to go somewhere and I could literally say, yes, I'll be there. Or yes, we will be there and we'll be on time too. But after you invite children into the equation, you're always lying. Most of the time you're lying about whether you're going to actually be there and whether you're actually going to be on time. And you also have to account whether you're going to look the part too, because sometimes you put so much effort into making your children look good and making sure that they look presentable that you kind of fall short on yourself. Being able to manage your time, it becomes more difficult because now you're not only accounting for yourself, but you're accounting for your children, you're accounting for your husband, and you're accounting for everything that's going to happen right after that and everything that's going to happen before that. And so something that I found that really helped in time management and trying to leave the house is if we have to get to church, for example, on Sunday morning at a certain time, I've got to make sure that everybody's clothes, stockings, undergarments, dresses, coats, shoes is lined up, ready to go. Bum, 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 bum. I also got to make sure that backpacks are packed. Bum, 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 bum. I got to make sure that breakfast is set in a way where I can just grab and go. I got to make sure that my things are packed. And Dean was laughing at me the other day. He was like, you try on your clothes for church? I said, I have to try on everything because if I miss this moment and not try on my clothes and wake up Sunday morning and put this outfit on and it doesn't work, that's another hour in itself trying to think of an outfit and making sure that it works. So time management, again, it's not always easy. You gotta really work hard to get those like all the pieces to fit to make sure that you can do all that you need to do. When I think of motherhood, I literally think of booked and busy. Like relationships change too. You could be asked like, Nikki, can you come to the mall with me? What day? Tuesday, booked. Can you read this report over for me because I have an assignment due tomorrow? I'm busy. Like literally, I'm always booked and busy as a mother. That time is just not as free as it was. So that's something you also need to take a note of, because that could be different and that could also be challenging for you too. I found it challenging. Another thing that I stumbled upon while becoming a mother was parenting styles. So I know everybody has their different kind of parenting styles. You will have your mother who probably tells you to swaddle the baby this way, and you'll have your mother-in-law telling you to feed the baby this way, and you'll have an auntie and an uncle and a sister and a cousin telling you don't bring the baby outside past 9 p.m. Like everybody has their ways and their ideas of what they think are right and the right way to do things. And at first, when I had my first daughter, I kind of struggled with that, because it was like, everybody, I know you're seasoned. I know you've been a mom forever. I know you know what works and what worked for your child. But at the same time, you're overloading me with all of your views and perspectives of what you think is right. And quite frankly, I don't like it. And I actually don't care to hear what you have to say about certain things. Like, yeah, of course, I'm going to take the advice that I think is worthwhile. Like, don't wash your baby's hair and bring them outside in the cold. Like, I mean, it's common sense, but also it's good to know that, yeah, because that's helpful information. But if you're nitpicking at every single thing and telling me that I'm doing every single thing right now, I'm going to shut you out. And I'm no longer going to listen to you, and I'm not going to be receptive. And I found that was something that I had to do, believe it or not. They don't know, but I was kind of like, oh yeah, thanks. No, for sure. I'm going to incorporate that. Oh yeah. And I'm going to be honest. At first I was kind of angry about it, because I was like, do you think I'm incapable of doing certain things? Like, do you think I don't, like, I was born with motherly instincts, you know, like my things turn on too when I became a mother. So like some things I will naturally know how to do. And so I kind of felt offended sometimes. I kind of felt like my way wasn't good sometimes, but that was something that I worked on early on with Melody, and I was able to tune out what I needed to tune out, tune into what I needed to tune into, and just take what I needed and reject what I didn't. And I found that once I built the courage to basically be like, I'm okay, thank you, parenting became easier. Like I got to a point where I was like, yeah, well, I'm the mom and I feel like this is right, whether you don't think so or not. And I'm going to do it this way. And you're going to watch me do it this way because it's my child. So you kind of have to get to that place where you're kind of like, I'm the parent and I'm going to do what I want to do. Okay. It's going to be tough, guys. It's tough. I had a hard time at first, but once you get the hang of it, once you build that backbone where, you know, like nobody can talk to me because I'm the mom and I run this, you'll feel much better about it. Another tip, this is number 4, or another thing that I went through, was patience and flexibility. So I've always literally been like a patient kind of person, like go with the flow, just flexible. Like, you want to do this? You want to watch this movie? Yeah, I'll watch this movie. I don't really care about it, but I'm not going to put up a funk about it. Like, I'll do it. I'm flexible. But when you become a mother, you quickly realize that like you have to have a different level of patience and a different level of flexibility, because a lot of the times things in our head are, as women, as mothers, things are calculated in our brain. So we are stutter. So we are already thinking about like what we're going to have for dinner, what we're going to eat for breakfast the next day, what the kids are going to wear to school. Like we're already, oh goodness. We're already thinking about all of those things. And so when things go off track, when things don't go the way that we planned, you gotta expect it. You kind of gotta go with the flow. Like, you don't know when your kids are gonna get sick. You don't know when they're gonna throw tantrums and you just can't get out the house. Like, they are so unpredictable that you just have to have this level of flexibility. And with that patience, like, our soon-to-be 2-year-old is now going through or stepping into her terrible 2s. And I know I went through it with Melody and it was very tough, but I kind of forgot about it because she got through her phase. Then Harmony came, and Harmony was very just like a chill baby. But over the last like 3-4 weeks, this girl has been practicing her nose, and she's so strong about them. And she looks you in your face and she literally says no. She'll tell you to freeze. She'll tell you to stop. She'll say, what are you doing? What's going on here? Like, she's questioning me, like, don't touch it. That's not yours. Mine. Sharing's caring. Like, she has a ton of words that she's using in context, and you're telling her, Harmony, go pick up that thing that you threw down for no reason, and she'll literally look at you and say, no, laugh her way through. What irritates me is that the same way Melody kind of took me for a joke is the same way that Harmony's taking me for a joke. And I really don't know how to act, because Dean will walk into the room and be like, Harmony, pick it up. And she'll kind of be like a little apprehensive. But dare he say it one more time, sis is jetting to go do whatever it is he asked her to do. And for me, I'm like, you're trying my patience. You're really pushing my buttons, but you're a baby. You're going through. You're just learning that you have choices and options. And so, let me say, it's a very trying season. It really pulls at your patience. But just know that they will get through it. I'm in the season right now. Melody got through it, and I am praying and hoping that Harmony's terrible twos, I don't even want to call it that, but her terrible twos will quickly fade, because I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it at all. And lastly, I would say, is cherishing the moments. Motherhood, like I said, is such a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful experience. And I hope that every woman who wants to experience being a mother and raising children get that opportunity to do so. It is so beautiful, despite all of the hardships that come with it. It is so beautiful. However, cherishing the moments as a mother sometimes doesn't come as often. You'll find that when you have a baby, you're taking pictures of your baby there, or you're taking pictures of your baby with other people, but nobody is really extending their hand to take pictures of you and your baby. And so I found, like, when I was looking through my phones, that I had like 2 or 3 pictures of selfies that I would take with the babies, but I don't really have like me crawling on the floor with them or me going down the slide with them, because I'm the guy behind the camera. And so when Harmony came around, I was like, you know what? I don't want that. I want to have the experiences. I want to have things in my archive that I could look back and be like, I was at the park too. I wasn't just the cameraman. I was there too, you know? So even if it's you setting up the camera and just putting it over in the corner of the living room and just going about your day, that's footage. Even if it's you saying, hey, babe, take this camera and take a couple of pictures of me today. Do it, because you're not going to get it. And you'll often fall between the cracks and find that you're just the one taking pictures of everybody else, creating moments for everybody else. But listen, you are the one that pushed out this baby. You need to have footage with this baby. Otherwise, how are you going to remember those precious little moments, you know? So feel free to ask people to help you. It's okay to get people to help you, take pictures of you, or set up the camera, whatever it is. Just be able to do something that will help you cherish those moments, because when the children grow up, you're going to feel sad about it, that you actually have nothing. And so these were just some of the things that I went through. I honestly hope that, you know, I'm not alone. Type in the comment section if I'm not alone, if I wasn't the only one to go through these things. Also type in the comment section, some things that you might have gone through that you had to experience from transitioning from just being a wife into motherhood, or just stepping into motherhood. What were some experiences you went through, and how did you feel about them, and how did you get through them? Let us know. I hope that everything that I have said today has been helpful, or I hope that even some of the things that I said today was helpful and encouraging and made you guys feel, you know, a little close to me, you know, that we're going through the same thing. I would hope that. But I thank you guys so much for tuning in today for another episode of Nicky's Corner, and I'll see you again in the next episode. Peace.